10, Tom. Right, because 10 would give me just this 3 here. So I'm going to say that's a 10. Okay, so then what's our number? Well, in the sexagesimal system, we'd have a 16 in the 60th place. Sorry, a 16, right? And then what would we have in the ones place? A 51, right? And we put a semicolon to say, well, here comes the fractional part. And what goes in the 60th place? 36. And what goes in the 3600th place? 10. And this is not exact, right? I suppose I should say this is an approximation, right? So there would be the sexagesimal representation for this number, which I just pulled out of thin air, right? Is there a more methodical way of doing this conversion? Probably. But you know, seat of the pants, this got the job done, right? So let's see. Let's say we've done task 1. We can move on to the next little bit. So it happens that the sun moves across the background stars over the course of a year, taking just a bit over 360 days to make one full circular orbit in the sky. That is, it moves along a circular path called the ecliptic circle, about 360th of its full annual course every day. It's made it convenient for the Babylonian astronomers to divide the circular path into 360 parts, which we call degrees. If these degrees needed further subdivision, one would use units corresponding to a 60th of a degree, today called minutes. That's from the Latin. If you read the subscript, you'll see that. If further accuracy was needed, one could use an even smaller unit called the second, corresponding to 60ths of a minute, or 360ths of a degree. Right, so these units, 1 degree, 1 second, 1 minute. Sorry, this is 1 degree, 1 minute, and 1 second, right? The second has the 2 little dashes. Apostrophes, what do you call those things? Superscript dash there, right? The second became the standard way to measure along circles, and almost 4,000 years later, we're still using the same system to measure angles. So yeah, you can convert from a decimal degree to minutes and seconds. Is a standard way of measuring angles, right? Which you may have learned if you did a careful reading of chapters 5 and 6. It's in there. Task 2, and this one I'm going to have you do after the break. So it involves using, well, we can get started on it. And I'll show you how Joe he brought to bear on this. We have a bear. Yes, we do. Well, we have lions and tigers.
No.
Yeah, so we'd like to open that. Files. So this window here, I would like to view a graphics window instead. So I've got an algebra window on the left. That's just to keep track of the objects. And I'm going to plot on the right. And on the right, you know, the graphical view, okay, except I don't want the coordinate system. I just want pure geometry here, right? So if I go to options, advanced, I can say, don't show me the coordinate system. And then it's gone, right? Just got empty space here. And so what is the assignment? Well, mark a point in the center of a blank sheet of paper and label it 0. All right. So I'm going to get my point tool here and say, yep, there's all kinds of different things I can choose off of this menu. One of them is point, and I'm going to put a point right there. I'm going to say, don't show me that label, because I'm going to label it 0, which I'm going to put in latex pretty tight, like that. Okay? So I did the first part of the task. The first part of the first part. Mark the point on the, then preferably with a compass, draw a large circle centered at O. Okay, and so this is a compass. You've seen these? Sure. Does anybody have one with them?
What is it?
A compass.
Oh, compass.
That's more,
I would know.
more used as a weapon now than anything.
A weapon? It does have a sharp point.
Probably wouldn't be able to get
This
that
is
on
actually a
the
very nice compass from like if you go to eBay or something, you can find. It used to be, architecture shops and whatnot where they made fancy drawings. Everybody would have a very nice set of these. And nowadays they use software, right? So there's a bunch of these surplus compasses laying around. You can get them for cheap. This is a very nice instrument here. Anyway, I've got a few of them here, and you can use a bigger one. You can borrow those later. But we're going to draw a large circle centered at 0, mark the point on the circle at the 3 o'clock position and label it A. Okay, so here is a circle. So for that I need the circle tool, right? Circle with, now there's also a compass tool. What's the difference between a circle and a compass? Well, I think for a compass I need 2 points, so I'm going to put another point here. I'll get out my compass tool, why not? You can also just use the circle tool. I think if I say I'm going to put the pencil point here and the sharp point there, it will draw me this, I need to say anchor it there. It'll draw me this circle. And so now if I take the move thing and try to move things around, well, I can move the center and I can move the point on the radius, and that will change the size of the circle. I can also just move the circle like this. So this point here, I guess what we wanted to call this A, and it's now called B, so I'm going to get rid of the label and introduce my own label. Call it A. And give it a nice pretty type. There we go. Is that reasonably visible? So then if we go, so that's at about the 3 o'clock position, isn't it? If you look at the clock, that's where 3 o'clock would go, right about there. Oh, I don't want another point. Yeah, right about there. And set your compass to the length OA on the radius of the circle, and then start